Guys, we've done meth interviews, heroin interviews, cocaine, crack. You know, we're touching on things, right? We're going to keep going. But what about
Flakka?
You ever heard of Flakka? My boy here, Owen Culpepper, he was hooked on all sorts of stuff. And he has a crazy story. I'm sure he has many more. We're going to hear just one crazy story about his experience on Flakka and what happened with the police.
There's a time when Flakka hit the streets down in West Palm Beach, Florida, you know, really, really bad. And this was real Flakka. This isn't the Flakka they have right now. It was like a year and a half period where they had some real Flakka. And I got into it, and man, I remember shooting Flakka, and, you know, it was like meth times 10, you know. It was very intense. You know, it was just really intense, and it was a psychosis like no other. And I remember for that year, dude, the police had been called on me so many times, bro, because I was out of my mind. And there was times where, you know, I remember the EMTs had me on this list, and I was at the top of this list. And they would show up, and they even showed me the little notepad they had. They said, "Do you see that?" They said, "Your name is at the top of this list, bro." He said, "You are the most likely candidate we think that's going to die out here." And anyway, so yeah, they were called out on me many times, bro. And because I was on Flakka, I was running the streets. You know, one time I took off all my clothes and I was running down the street, and dude, I was a mess, bro. And so anyway, I'll go back into the story. I know you want to hear it. So, yeah, sorry. I got some roommates here, man.
It's all right.
So, back to the Flakka story. So, there's this time where I was sleeping. There's this little pond where these hedges grow up there on Congress Avenue towards North Lake Boulevard. And it's a pond, and I used to sleep right there. And, you know, for 10 years, dude, out there on the streets, I didn't ever go to bed without a shot to wake up to. And this one morning, I had a shot of Flakka and a shot of heroin. And I did my shot of heroin because I like to get well, you know, first in the morning. That's what I do. Check this out. So I'm waking up. It's like 6 a.m. There's this mist coming off the pond, and I can barely see in front of me because the fog is coming up. And I do my shot of flock, and immediate psychosis. I see this hand sticking up out of the water. It's just sticking straight up. It's not moving. And I see this outline of this face. And the guy, I didn't know if I was tripping or not, bro. I was, and I mean this. I really didn't know if I was really seeing this or not. I remember seeing the outline of this face sticking up over the water, and it was bloated like a puffer fish. And this hand was sticking straight up like this. And it was like the guy was reaching for help, you know, reaching for the sky. And so what happens is I immediately jump up. I'm thinking serial killer. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking there's a serial killer out here. This guy just dumped this body in the lake. I'm getting the hell out of here. And I run, and there's just this only little opening on the side of these hedges. And I have to run through there, and I jump in front of traffic, and I'm waving them down. And, you know, these people have seen me out here for years, bro. This same traffic that rides by has seen me for years out here on these streets, bro. So they know me very well. This is West Palm Beach. This is a big city. But everybody knows me. And I run out there, and I'm trying to flag down traffic, and they just keep whizzing by, and I hold on to one guy's mirror, and I'm trying to break his mirror off. And finally somebody stops, and I'm like, "Dude, you got to call 911. You got to call 911. There's a dead body in the lake." And so they give me the phone. I'm calling 911, and the 911 operator's like, "What's up?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Hey, this is Owen Culpepper." And I could hear the gasp in her voice when I said my name, because, I mean, even the people that do the 911 calls know me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, "Bro, I'm tripping." I said, there's a serial killer out here by Target convenience store. I said, and by this little pond and these hedges, and I gave them the cross streets. And they showed up, And the police sergeant knew me, of course, and he's like, Owen, he's like, bro, he's like, I'm telling you, if you called us again for something that's, complete bullshit, you're going right to jail. He said, I'm not fucking with you this time. And I said, bro, listen, on everything I love, there's a dead body in that fucking pond. And I don't know how it got there. That shit's got me fucked up. And so so he walks back there and he comes back and he said, he ain't lying this time. And I said, no, I'm not. And that was it, man. It was, and I remember for months after that, they kept me for questioning because I was the only, I guess, the witness to the finding the body. They kept me for questioning for like 10 or 12 hours. And, I'm starting to get sick again. And dude, there's all kinds of vivid memories I have. I remember for months after that, dude, walking around, there's this little, that's a road right there that I usually take to go panhandle on the streets when I wake up in the mornings. And dude, I had to change my sleeping area. I wouldn't sleep over there no more. And I was scared to walk by that street for months, bro, because I didn't know. I mean, they told me that the kid had come out there and killed himself and weighted himself down in the water. He was like 16, 17 years old. He came from a group home out in west of Okeechobee, and he came out there and killed himself. I don't know why, but I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I thought for sure there was a serial killer out on the loose, and the cops overlooked it, and he was still out there, and I was the next victim. That's how bad my psychosis was.
These people thought you were crazy. You thought it's possible you were crazy. You were just telling them what you saw. Turns out there was really a body. That's crazy, Owen. I mean, what are the odds of something like that happens? You know what I mean? That's just really crazy. And you said you had PTSD till this day about that. Like, just that's scary.
Don't walk around. If I was on the street, I avoid that area at all costs. I'll walk 2 miles and go a different route rather than go down that street.
Well, I'm glad you're clean today, man. Someone out there is struggling right now, bro. Give them something, man. Tell them from the heart, and then we'll close out.
I just want to share, dude, that I'm in the solution today. These war stories and my experience is definitely fun to hear and stuff like that, bro. But I am really in the solution today, bro. I mean, my whole life has changed. I don't think that way, the way I thought before. My whole life out there on the streets was how I was going to get the next fix. I wasn't concerned about anybody or anything. Not that those people, I thought about my daughter every day while I was out there, but I couldn't do anything about the situation because I couldn't take care of myself. I wasn't in the right mind frame. And, I love my daughter dearly, dude. I got a relationship with my daughter today that's unbreakable. And she's the reason why I want to live today. And not just that, but I want to live for myself, bro. I have never lived in my whole life, man. I've never actually lived. Mm-hmm. And I've found a new way to live, bro. I have actually found a new way to live, a solution that works for me today. And, I'm just grateful, dude, to be where I'm at. And, I grabbed onto this thing. When I got here, that desperation will wear off. I want to talk about that. The desperation is, as long as I was out there on the streets, that shit wears off, bro. It doesn't last forever. You don't always think about that street. As long as I was out there, I don't think about that every day. And the thing was, I used that desperation. It was a tool. I used that to get where I'm at today. In the first 2 weeks I got here in treatment, bro, I really got my feet planted in recovery. I got around a group of guys, bro, that have saved my life, and I'm just grateful, bro. I really am.
Yeah, I remember I was on the back of that boat, man. You're playing poker with the boys and just fellowshipping. So, yeah, man, I think your story is going to change a lot of people's lives, and I can't wait to have you on so we can do more of that because, Man, you've told so many already. I love them, and I love you, man, and what you're doing. Thank God for people like Richie Weber, man, who stuck their neck out to scholarship you twice. And anyone who needs help, reach out, man. My number's in the description. I'm here for you.
One more person I forgot to thank.
Yeah.
My biggest fan. God, man. Thank you, God. He had his hands on me the whole time.
Dude,
I can't
you've
forget
been
God.
through some stuff. I mean, hard to not think something's happening, right? That's got your back. So, thanks for joining me, man. And I love you, man. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. If you can relate in some way to what he just said, let me know. Comment down below. If you've had a crazy story or you had a crazy experience and you're in recovery, you're wanting to share that story, let me know. I'm interested in hearing, because I'm tell you what, I've never, ever experienced anything like that on that level. Love you guys. Big D.